What's good, Commanders fans? I hope everybody had an awesome weekend. I just wanted to talk about Terry McLaurin and training camp. This probably will be my last training camp preview video because tomorrow I'll be reacting to Adam Peters and Dan Quinn's press conference. If there is anything that comes out that is super important, they probably will be asked about the name, but they have no say in that. Adam Peters doesn't have really a say, or Dan Quinn doesn't have a say, but somebody probably will ask them about it. We know Dan Quinn did wear the shirt with the feather on the W, which I wanted on the side of the helmet. That's something that I wanted to see, but we did not get that. Maybe we get that in the foreseeable future or something like that. And Dan Quinn did say the name Redskins a lot. He said it pretty frequently in the past, and Josh Harris did say it kind of frequently in the past too when they first came on. Well, Dan Quinn first came here last year, and then Josh Harris said it last year a couple times too. But it is what it is on that. Like I said, I'm not picking a side or anything like that. Like I said, I just care about wins, and that's it. And we're winning games, so that's all I'm focused on. I'm focused on that. Training camp is finally here. Just like Jane Daniels' mom said, hey, don't let this distract you from training camp starting. Same thing with Jeremy Reeves. Tweeted out something similar to that too. So keep your eyes on the prize, guys. I know people, yes, you can chew gum and chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. Yes, I know it is possible to do that. But for me, I'm tunnel vision because I've been over the name stuff for the last 5 years. When it came up in 2020, I just stopped caring about it. Couldn't care less. The last time I was really engaged about it was when Red Wolves was on the table. That was like the last time I was like heavily invested. Other than that, I'm done with it. You know, we got a quarterback now. We got a team now. We got a good team now. A legitimate front office, I feel like, and a darn good head coach. So that's all I'm really worried about right now at this point. That's all I'm really worried about. All right. And then they're going to ask him about Terry. They're going to ask Adam Peters about Terry. So today's Monday, and everybody's like, oh, there's going to be a deal done. There's going to be a deal done. Terry's going to be done and all this stuff. And I think somebody on Twitter put something out saying that they have a source that the deal is going to be done, and we're here on Monday, and there's no deal done. It's about 4 o'clock, and I don't think there's going to be anything done. I think there is going to be a hold in. I do think that Terry shows up. I don't think he's going to take the fines because they cannot give that money back in training camp. So he's going to show up, but he's just going to be holding in. Brandon Ayuk did it last year. Jamar Chase did it last year. We'll see if Trey Hendrickson ends up doing it because they still don't have a deal, but they're getting close. They're in a better position than we are in, according to what people have put out there. But this guy named Henry McKenna is an NFL reporter for Fox Sports. He just came out with an article. I'll read it here real quick. So he says, quote, if necessary, McLaurin will explore every option, including a holdout, a hold-in, and a trade request per the source. Everything will be on the table, the source told Andrew. But McLaurin is taking things day by day in hopes of hearing more from the Commanders, who have not told him about his contract in weeks, in about a month. That's what he said after the Eastern Motors commercial. Shout out to Eastern Motors. Even after he spoke out about his dissatisfaction. So McLaurin also said, I've been pretty frustrated. I'm not going to lie. Everything that has transpired to this point has been pretty disappointing and frustrating. So they're going to be talking. There's no way they can't talk because he's going into the building on Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday. So they're going to have to speak to each other. They're going to have to say something and get some type of conversations going. You can't avoid each other. Nobody's in Italy or on vacation or anything like that. And, you know, so everybody's going to be at Ashburn. Or if he shows up, which I think he's going to show, I believe I think he's going to show up. But there's really no way to avoid each other. Now, his agent has to be there too, Buddy Baker. So it looks like he most likely will be there too. But the Jeremy Fowler report definitely is concerning to me that they don't want to get to $30 million. I think that's disrespectful. I said that in my video yesterday. Now, there's reports that the Patriots are heavily interested in Terry McLaurin. We're not going to trade him. There's a report, Jeremy Fowler said that the Commanders have no plans in trading McLaurin, but the Patriots, remember, they were going to offer Chris Godwin $30 million. So they would gladly give Terry McLaurin $30 million. And that tells me it's like, if there's a team like the Patriots that will gladly give Terry $30 million, why can't you meet that $30 million demand or request? So it is kind of like if you go off of Jeremy Fowler's report, then it is like Adam Peters is playing hardball. Like, come on, man. Like, Terry deserves 30 mil. Like, when it gets to 35, 36, that's when I get iffy. Really 34. I said 33 is really the highest that I can go, that I would go personally. I believe that Terry deserves 33. I've said this for the last couple weeks that we've been talking about this. So I'm ready for this to be over too and just get this started and get Terry back on the field because we need him. We just cannot go out there with Noah Brown and Deebo Samuel as your wide receiver 1 and number 2. You just can't do it. That's GM malpractice. I know Amari Cooper's out there and Keenan Allen's out there, but even if you bring in one of those guys too, like that's a downgrade from what you have with Terry McLaurin and the chemistry that Jaden and Terry have. And you want to get them started as soon as possible. You don't want them to have a slow start or risk injuries because he's not at camp and different things like that. So they need to get this done. If the argument is 30 mil, like this is something that should have been done weeks ago if that was the argument. I thought the argument was like 34, 35. And we still don't know for sure because Jeremy Fowler is plugged in, but we still don't know for 100% if that is the case. But if it's just 30 mil, man, like they should have got that done a couple weeks ago. I would have been signed, sealed, and delivered if all he's asking for is for $30 million. The communication has been poor on both sides, which is unfortunate. I hate to see that because Terry deserves to be treated respectfully because he's just a darn good teammate, darn good captain, has been through the bad years, and I get somebody's going to comment it doesn't matter what you did 3 years ago with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Heineke and Wentz. It's what you're going to do in the future, and I get that. But at the same time, the production that he showed, the non-injury history as well, knock on wood, shows that he's going to be really good for years to come still. Like for the next 3 years, he's still going to be the Terry McLaurin that gets you 1,000 yards. Like he's still going to do that. He's still going to be a contested catch king. He's still going to be a nuanced route runner. He's still going to do those things. And he's getting better finishing drives and finishing with touchdowns and not just getting shoelace tackled. The Lions game, he did a great job. The Eagles game, he did a great job running after the catch. The yak, he has certainly improved on his screen catches. He was awful with screen catches in the beginning of the year. It wasn't all his fault. Some of the blocking was not good, but he improved in the screen game because we know Cliff loves to run the wide receiver screen and just get him some touches to get warmed up, and just Terry, that wasn't really his forte. But even that, he added that to his game too later in the season. So there's really no reason not to give this guy 30 mil, man. So they need to get this deal done, man. They really do. So, but yeah, that's about it. And camp battles for tomorrow or for really Wednesday in training camp. Just looking at Andrew Wiley versus Connerly. I'm looking at Chris Moore versus Michael Gallup and KJ Osborne, Ja'Cory Brooks. I'll throw him in a mix too. Luke McCaffrey, he should be getting more reps with McLaurin holding in or holding out. So how does his chemistry with Jaden Daniels go? Looking at that. Sam Hartman versus Josh Johnson, who gets the third quarterback spot. Who else on the defensive side of the ball? Tight ends is pretty set. You're gonna keep those three. You're gonna keep those three guys. At tight end, Ben Sinnott, Zach Ertz, and John Bates. Offensive line is pretty set for the most part too. But wide receiver is going to be huge. It's going to be a huge camp battle for sure. And then that's really all I got. I'm trying to think on the defensive end of the ball. Cam Madrano's going to make the roster. All the rookies going to make the roster. Like they're not going to cut any rookies. I don't feel like they will do that. Defensive end did get a little more interesting with Von Miller. I can't wait to see him in training camp and how he does. I know they're going to rest him a good amount too. But I can't wait to see that. Looking at defensive ends, Javonte John Baptiste, will he make the roster? Jalen Holmes, probably on the practice squad. Carl Davis on the practice squad. Linebacker. Shout out to Frankie Louvu. He made the top 100, so shout out to him for that as well. Dominique Hampton should make the roster, I feel like. Cam Arnold will be on the practice squad. Nick Ballore is going to make the roster. Of course, Jordan McGee. And then your corners, does Carlin Vidgers make the roster? Is he a guy that makes the roster? So you got to look out for him making a roster too. And Fentrell Cypress, I don't think he's going to make the roster. But Bobby Price, Kayvon Seymour, Carlin Vidgers, and Fentrell Cypress will be fighting for a spot. Also, Robert McDaniel fighting for a spot at the safety position as well. The UDFA, does he make the roster as a safety? So those that's going to be a question mark there. That safety spot battle for sure will be something to look at as well. Debo looks like he's lost some weight too. I see some people talking about it as well, like 8% body fat or something like that. Which everybody was like, oh, he's fat and stuff like that. So Debo looks like he's in great shape right now. So, but all right, you guys. As always, you guys let me know what you guys think. Hello, Commanders. Peace.